So in time value of money chapter, now we focus on future value of an annuity. Now before we start future value of an annuity, let us understand what is an annuity. An annuity is an equal stream of cash flows. This can be cash inflow or this can be cash outflow, but the only one particular feature that qualifies to be an annuity, that means that this feature is the cash flows are to be equal in magnitude. There are ample examples of annuities. Suppose you buy a life insurance contract, and for that you have to pay premium. For example, you pay 6,500 rupees premium and your contract is for 20 years. So every year at the end of the year or your purchase date, you pay 6,500 rupees for 20 years. So this 6,500 rupees is your premium, and another feature is that every year you pay the equal amount, 6,500 rupees. So this is an example of an annuity. Suppose you open a post office recurring deposit, as the name suggests, recurring. You suppose buy a scheme for 2 years and you pay 1,000 rupees per month. So in 2 years you pay 24 installments, and in every installment you pay 1,000 rupees. So that means this 1,000 rupees, as these are equal in magnitude in each and every month for all 24 months, this qualifies to be an annuity. You buy a car or you buy a home, right, and for that you just you need to pay EMIs. EMI stands for equated monthly installment. That means that every month, as it is monthly installment, every month you have to pay an equal amount for a certain period of time. As these are equal in magnitude, so we call it an annuity. Now we will take a simple example of annuity and understand how it works. How do you calculate? We calculate in this manner. Future value of an annuity, we are here calculating future value of an annuity is simply this: A stands for annuity into 1 plus R. R is my compound interest, and to the power n. N is my tenure, minus 1 whole divided by R. So A stands for annuity, N stands for tenure, and R stands for the compounding rate that is applicable. Now how actually does it work? Just let us draw a timeline, as we have always done in this manner. Suppose this is my timeline and these are my years. This is today, that is time 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Now in this case, what has happened, in every year, right, at some point we are getting or giving an equal stream of cash flow, right? It can be cash inflow or it can be cash outflow. So the only feature in this particular cash flow is this: all these cash flows are equal in magnitude. If it is 1,000, then every year we are getting or giving 1,000 rupees. If it is 5,000, then every year the cash flows are 5,000 rupees, right? So in this case my tenure is 4 year. In this case I have certain discounting, certain compounding rate, for example 10%, right? And all the cash flows are equal. Now what I am calculating, suppose I deposit a similar amount at the end of every year, then how much this deposit amount will become after my desired life of that deposit, say in this case 4 years. So that means I just want to calculate the value in future, and that is why we call it future value. Now in this case, as the deposits are equal, so we call it annuity, and that is why the formula what we use, we call future value of an annuity, right? Now this is how we calculate future value of an annuity. Let us take a small problem to understand this. Okay, suppose you deposit 1,000 rupees, right, annually in a bank for 5 years, and you earn 10% compound interest per annum. What will be the value of this particular series of deposit after 5 years? So you can understand the value accumulates at this point in future, right? Value accumulates here in future. So that is why it is a future value calculation problem. As the deposits are equal in magnitude, all are 1,000 rupees, right? All are 1,000 rupees. So we call it annuity, right? Now in this case, you must have noticed one thing, that is I am depositing for 5 years, and that means I have to pay 5 installments of 1,000 rupees. Now why I am not giving from time 0, or why I am starting at the end of year 1, right, or at time 1 at this point, right? Now here in this particular problem no clue is given. So suppose I suppose that we have given the first deposit at the end of year 1. Now this kind of a cash flow, when the cash flow starts at the end of year 1, that means at this point, is called ordinary annuity. And the formula that we have learned in the previous slide is actually formula for ordinary annuity. When the cash flow starts at this point, that is at time 0, we call it annuity due. So the formula that we have learned is not for annuity due. The formula that we have learned is for ordinary annuity, and ordinary annuity starts at the end of year 1. At the end we learn how to deal with this annuity due case, right? So here we assume that that 1000 rupees was deposited at the end of year 1. That means the final, out of 5 installments, the final installment will come at the end of year 5. If it starts from at time 0, the final installment would come at the beginning of year 5 or end of year 4 at this point, right? I can solve this problem in 3 ways. First, I can individually take the number and I can solve it. Suppose I take this 1000 rupees, right? I take this 1000 rupees here, and separately I convert this 1000 rupees into future value. So my discount compounding factor is 10%, so 1000 into 1 plus 0.10. Now it is getting 4 years to compound, 1 2 3 4, right? So to the power 4. So the figure that I'll get is this one. Similarly, 1000 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 3, I'll get this figure. 1000 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 2, because it is getting 2 years to compound, I'll get this figure. 1000 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 1, I'll get this figure, and this final 1000 rupees I'm getting at the end of year 5. If I add all these figures, then this is my answer, 6105, right? Now this is a regular way of solving it. In case I want to use future value, as it's an annuity problem, so definitely I want to use a annuity formula. In case I want to use an annuity formula, I will go to that. So this is my annuity formula, right? And my annuities are like 1000 is my annuity, compound interest rate is 10%, and my 10-year is 5 years. So what I have to do, I just have to put 1000. I just have to put 1000 in place of my annuity, because that is my annuity. R is 10%, so 1 plus 0.10 to the power 5 minus 1 whole divided by 10. Once I calculate this particular figure, then I get a value of 6.105. Once I multiply, I get the same result, 6105. Now there's a third way of solving it, that is the most easy way, and that is using the table. Let us see how does it work. Now when I use table, my problem remains same. This is my formula. When I use table, instead of calculating this part, right, I replace this part from using the table value. Now which table I have to refer? I have to refer FVIFA table, that is future value of an interest factor of an annuity. Please put stress on this figure. Future value of an interest factor of an annuity table for R% and N years. So this FVIFA table is an R% N years matrix, right? I have to find out for certain percentage, certain number of years, right? So what I have to do here, in this case, my future value of an annuity is for 5 years. So A into FVIFA, R is 10%, N is 5 years. So let me check a table. I have a table open here. Now see, my table is for R% 5 years, so my R% is 10%, and for 5 years, so this is my 5 years, so 5th year and 10%. See, this is my figure, 6.105. So you can easily get that 6.105 was what we have calculated by using the calculator, right? So this figure, I just write it here, right, from the table, and I get the number. Now there is only one problem in this particular annuity table, is that if my discounting rate applicable or required in my problem is 10.5% instead of 10%. Now see, I do not have that value in annuity table. Just let me go back once to annuity table. If I require anything in between, in fraction, I don't have that. So in that case I have to use the formula. If I require anything in between years, like 2.5 years, then I don't have that in my formula. I have to go back and calculate it on my own. So in that case I'll use the future value of an interest factor formula. So this is how we actually deal a future value of an annuity problem, right? In the next short video we'll do small